Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Rainey Toon Talk. And joining myself tonight and Stephen, I think we've been practicing all week. We have Nicky Papavasiliou. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, Nicky. I really appreciate you taking your time out to come and join us. I know there's been a lot of Newcastle fans in the group, and myself and Stephen. I can't wait to speak to you. So any questions that you have as well, please put them in, and we'll go through at the end. Any comments that come in. But thank you, Nicky, so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you also for inviting me. Great
Excellent.
to talk to you guys. Yeah.
And Nicky has requested that we do go very slowly, just so we can understand our bit of Geordie accents as we go on. So we'll try our very best as well. So we're going to start going through some early days, Nicky. Obviously, Newcastle wasn't your first taste of England. You played for Oldham Youth and Arsenal youth teams. How was that at the time?
Yeah, it was. I was only 16 years old, and when I was playing in Cyprus. Then it was a manager in Apoel in one team here. So when Arsenal came here for one camp, he introduced me to the people there. So I got an invitation to travel to England, and I already played my first game in the first division here in Cyprus. But I got the opportunity to go there. My coach was Pat Rice, and
Yes, yeah.
It was fantastic times for me. It was I got the first taste of the English football. Because in my country the game was slower. It was different, but he helped me so much to adapt to the needs of the game, to find the space, to find the time in the game, the intensity of the game, and all this. So I had. Then I went to Oldham Athletic, fantastic with Joe Royal, the manager. Yeah, but I was in the reserves, and also by the help of Arsenal, they tried to get me a work permit so I can sign as a professional. It never happened because I was still young, and I had the Cyprus passport at the moment.
Right.
So I had to go away, and I had the opportunity to go in Italy, in Como, which it was in the Campionato at this time. And also I had offers from Greece, so I chose to go in Ophikrit, which it was one of the best teams in the Greek league, and I was lucky enough to meet with Egan Geralt, a Dutch coach, that he was there for so many years. I mean, I think it's a record for Greek football to a manager to be for 14 years in a club.
Right.
So you can imagine the quality he had and
Yeah.
everything. So it was. I signed a 5 years contract, and we had great times because we always challenging for European places. We played in the old UEFA Cup, and we won the Balkan Cup. We was 2 times in the final of the Greek Cup. So it was fantastic times for me, for my development. And also the Greek football at these times was really, really, all the stadiums there were full. So it was a big experience for me, even in the young age of 23, when I made the big step in my career to go in Newcastle. I was having 5 years full games in a very good level.
Yeah.
So I started also to play very young in the national team, and I had some really good games, and that's where Terry Yorath saw me playing, because we was playing against Wales. So after the game against Wales, I remember I found in the airport Terry Yorath, and because I was flying back in Greece, so he came to me and he say, "Hello, I'm Terry." I say, "Yeah, of course I know." He says, "Do you want to play in England?" I said, "Yeah, I would love to, of course."
Mhm.
So he says, give me your phone number." So he got my phone number,
Yeah.
and after a month, he came to me back. He called me and he says, "Okay, I've got City and I've got Newcastle."
Amazing.
So uh, he says, "We will arrange everything, the invitation and everything. And what do you want?" So I asked a few questions. He told me that Keegan was the coach of Newcastle, so
Yeah.
he was my hero when I was young,
Yeah.
And he told me that they will get promoted and all this. So I said, "Yeah, let's take the opportunity. I would love to." So they arranged everything with my club. I went there for the trial, and I played one reserves game. So the gaffer was very, he showed excitement, and he came after the game. He says, "I want to sign you and everything. I love the way you play." And I was fantastic, So I got the opportunity to play in the Premier League. So that was a dream come true for me.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Really, like you say, you turned pro. I think it was 1988, and as you said, the time that you spent in Greece and before obviously Newcastle and Man City came interested, was the other people watching you around that time as well?
Yeah, yeah. I had at this time from 92 to 93, I had an offer also from Monaco.
Oh wow, yeah,
So yeah, after one international game again against Romania, I had a meeting with the president and the coach. They travel in Romania. We had a meeting there. They made me
Yeah.
an offer. So at the same time, I had also Newcastle. So in Monaco, it was the times that only three foreigners they could play. So
Right.
right.
they wanted to sign me as a fourth foreigner. So when I asked who are the three foreigners in that plays for Monaco,
Yeah.
the coach said, "Yeah, it's Rui Barros and Schifo and Klinsmann." I said, "Okay."
Not bad. Confusing.
So I had to fight
Yeah.
to. So yeah, the opportunity for Newcastle United when I traveled there, when I saw the gaffer Terry McDermott, the city, the team, the excitement and everything,
Yeah,
I didn't have any second thoughts
Yeah.
about going anywhere else.
yeah. And you mentioned there just quickly, obviously Keegan was your idol as well, and the picture I always remember is your hair as well on the picture. And was that a part of the
Yeah.
Keegan look that you were going for?
Yeah, the funny thing that they were calling me like a nickname when I was young,
Yeah,
the Gaffer, like Keegan. So it was the consequences was amazing.
great. And once
Because
obviously they moved to
he
England.
was a fantastic player. He was an
Oh,
amazing
he's
player.
great.
So
Yeah,
we grow up watching him, in Liverpool,
Mhm.
in Newcastle, in Hamburg. He was two times best player in Europe. I remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, amazing.
yeah. Really special. And once the move to England came around, how did you feel, obviously coming to England and playing in the Premier League? What was the nerves like, the excitement? Obviously being the first Cypriot to play in the Premier League as well, that must have been a proud moment for yourself and the family.
Yeah, of course. Very exciting times. It was very good for me that it was the preseason. So I started the
Yeah.
preseason, and the preseason gives you always the time to adapt,
Yeah.
to get the. Obviously I work very hard in the preseason to get much more fitter,
Mhm.
to understand the game, to understand what the gaffer wants from you, and also to see the level and start to adapt in the intensity of the game, because the intensity of the game was different. Of course, I was in a good level in Greece, but so different, because the European style is, it's not always going fast, go fast, go fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes you come
Yeah.
down, you
Mhm.
know, you play more possession, which it was different. But my first experience when I was young helped me a lot to adapt quicker.
Yeah.
And also of course, the dressing room, the players, the Terry McDermott, the coach, Fast also helped me to adapt quicker.
Yeah.
And I can imagine it was just a training on attack, and then just defending that little tiny bit under Kings. I know you like to go out and attack teams from start to finish pretty much, so I bet that was exciting as well.
Yeah,
And over to yourself, Stephen, just going through a few more Toon questions there as well.
Yeah. You initially, I think you signed August '93 or thereabouts. Yeah, I think it was an initial 2-year contract, I believe.
No, it was a 3 years contract.
Right.
It was a 3
How-
years contract. So
Yeah.
I started the preseason. I started very well the season. Then I dropped because of, I had also one injury. So then I struggled. I really struggled to get back into the team. But the good thing is I was also playing in the reserves, and I kept very fit. So at the end of the season, I had an offer to go to Genoa. So the gaffer came to me and he says, we have a deal with Genoa. So I went for holidays, and I was going to go back to Italy. And it was a very good offer also for Newcastle United, because it was 1 million pounds at the moment. So and what happened? Skuhravi didn't. Skuhravi was a player for Genoa. So Leeds United wanted to sign him, but they didn't agree in personal terms.
Right.
So I had to go back to Newcastle. It was still a pre-season, but I was in a great shape. So Newcastle, the second summer, they signed Philip Albert. They signed, I remember the guy from Switzerland, the right back.
Hottegar, I believe. Was that Mark Hottegar?
Rolf Fox.
Yeah.
So the team was, with the new signings, went in another level.
Yeah.
But I remember I did very, very well in the preseason. And around 1 week before the start of the new season, we had an exhibition game with the supporters in St. James Park. Also, we had the new grass and everything. So we played against the starting 11. So I played in the other team, and I remember I had a fantastic first half, amazing in the first half. So Gaffer came in the dressing room and he said, brilliant, Nicky, And then we had the reserves game on Tuesday, and he came in the bus and he says, Nicky, keep playing like you're playing, and I'm thinking to start with you in the season. You will get your chance. So suddenly, from going away, I went back. I was in a very good shape, and I was waiting to get my chance to go back to the team. So in this game, in the reserves games, I was so unlucky to get injured. So I had an injury, and I twist my knee, and the operation didn't go well. So for 4, 5, 6 months, I was out of training. So I started to get back early December. So I had also the chance to go back to my club, to Ofikrit. Gaffer came and he says, okay, let's try, you're fit now, and I have also I can have offers for you. I know Celtic, they're interested, West Ham are interested. So if you doesn't want to go, we can always try, because you're getting fit again. So I said, I made a big mistake to say no. I want to go back. So
Yeah.
that was the end of. But the injury get me very frustrated, because you want to play, you want to get back to the team, and but that's how it is. This is football sometimes,
Yeah. Moving over to England when you signed for Newcastle, how did you find adapting to the culture and the different way of life over here? Was it an easy transition sort of thing for you? Or?
Yeah, it's so different. It's so different. The weather, the people, the culture, it's so much different. But no, I didn't have a problem to adapt. I love my time, and the people were unbelievable. The supporters in the streets, in the everyday life was makes you feel so good, so good. And the training and the standards, the professionalism, everything was high standard. So it was amazing times for me, and playing for Newcastle United, and feeling the atmosphere, the people, how they support, and they were very, very, very excited with me. When I was playing,
Yeah.
I could feel the support, and I could feel that they really like the way I was playing. And, it was fantastic.
I know you touched on earlier that Kevin Keegan was one of your heroes growing up. What was it like meeting Keegan for the very first time?
Yeah, it was fantastic, and he was so open, so he was so honest, and always saying what he feels, and makes the player feel good, and he showed me from the first days that I went there for trial that he really liked my style, and he really wanted to sign me. Even I had some problems with the Greek passport and everything to make this transfer go through. And it was a time like 4 or 5 months until I go. We will manage to make this transfer. He kept calling me, 2-3 times per month, just to see how I am, and don't worry, we're in the process, and we will make it happen and everything. And as a player, you always feel really good when the coach wants you.
Brilliant. Back when you signed for the club, we had some big name players like say Beardsley, Cole, Lee Clark, Rob Lee, and the likes. What were they like when you first came to the club? Were they very welcoming, or how were they with you?
Well, when you first go into the club, they all want to see what you can do. So they were great. They were great.
Good. Excellent.
And the quality of those players, makes also your game better, and you always have the support, and playing with Peter Beardsley or Andy Cole. Andy was so clinical in the area, and always when you have the ball, shows you where he wants the ball. He was so sharp. So every time I had the ball, I knew he's there. So
I'm going to put you on the spot a bit, here, Nicky. Who was the best player that you played with in Newcastle? Or who, in your opinion, was the best player?
Yeah, it was many good players, but Peter Beardsley was unbelievable. His work ethic, how he trained, his ability in the box, in the combination play, in his communication. He was always the first one to press, and he had this. I remember what really take from him also is he was going slow and then fast,
Right.
and he was the first one to win the ball,
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
front.
Yeah.
And his cooperation with Andy, with Coley, was
Amazing, wasn't it?
Special, wasn't it? Very special. Yeah.
very special, very special. Yeah.
And I think I only seen him play a handful of times, and I was just wow. Do you know what I mean? It's like brilliant.
Exactly.
Uh, so, in training and stuff like that, in and around the club on match days, who would you say was like the main voice out of all those players? Who was the one that was kind of like, right, let's get a bit of organisation and stuff like that?
Barry
Like,
Benison was Barry
yeah,
Benison
right.
was the player that he was more loud and
right,
like a leader in the field, in the dressing
yeah,
room. Yeah, I think Barry.
yeah. Good fullback, wasn't he?
Yeah, He was playing as
Yeah,
a center back.
right.
Yeah.
See, I think at that game I was watching this morning, I believe it was Sheffield Wednesday. I think he switched
Yeah.
over to centre back at one point in that game, I believe. It was like, oh, but
No, he was he was a winner. He wanted to win, and
yeah,
he was a player that he was pushing you also in training. So you need those players in every team to
absolutely.
motivate you
Yeah,
to get you in the highest standards,
yeah,
and push the others. Yeah, Barry was amazing player.
brilliant. On your away games, when you used to travel to your away games, who did you used to room with, and what were they like?
It was Cernicek, Pavel.
Was it?
So, Pav.
Wow.
Yeah. It was unbelievable loss at,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I remember I was as a coach in Slovan Bratislava when he died.
Right.
Right.
And Pavel was goalkeeper coach in Sparta Prague. So
Mhm.
we spoke once, and we were supposed to meet, and then
Yeah.
what happened to him? Yeah, he was a fantastic goalkeeper and a very good guy, very, very good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know him from his days there. He was unbelievable personality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
really special he was, wasn't he? And just getting on some of your own memories, Nicky, as well. I mean, your debut against Spurs, what was your memories of that game?
Well, unbelievable, because it was the
Yeah.
first game of the season, the first game of Newcastle going back to the Premier League. So it was a full stadium, and
Yeah.
I make a debut. And what a memory! Yeah, it was fantastic. Ardiles was the coach who used
Yeah.
to be in Newcastle, and what an atmosphere! It was for me a first taste of the Premier League, of the intensity of the game and everything. So it was a great first game. I did well for the debut, for the first game. I remember also. I think I was the man of the match, because in the games I played, I had 3 man of the match
Right.
games.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
it was
Done really well.
one of them. Yeah.
And a lot of players that we speak to, either when we do our live shows or in the Facebook group, we always ask is, what's it like running out at St. James's Park? I mean, can you describe that feeling to the fans that's watching?
Yeah, wow, it's unbelievable. It boosts you so much as a player,
Yeah.
because you're so supportive. They're the best supporters in England by far. I don't think there is any other team gives you this energy what St. James Park gives you. No way.
Yeah, it's been amazing the last few games of the season, definitely. You also obviously played at Old Trafford as well, and played a very important part in that game for Andy Cole to get that goal. And I mean, what was the memories of playing at Old Trafford? Obviously, it's one of the bigger stadiums that everyone looks forward to playing at, and it's obviously big games between Newcastle and Man United at that time.
Yeah, fantastic stadium. Man United was having so many stars, so many. This team was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's Michael Giggs, was Brian Robson, um, so many amazing players. So, but when you are a player, you cannot think too much about those things.
Yeah.
When you step in and you say, okay, I'm here and I want to perform and I want to help my team and give my 100%, my 110%. So yeah, it's fear is not it's not on you in those games. You want to perform, you want to show yourself. So it was a fantastic game, and I was happy that I had a very good game, and I was part of the result. So I
Yeah.
gave this the first time pass to Coley. So because he was so sharp, so when I received the ball, I opened my body, then I knew he's there. So
Yeah.
and he finished it superbly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
And I think that covers a few questions that came in. Everyone's kind of asked in the group as well. Ask about the Andy Cole, obviously playing at Man United in that goal as well. So I think that's covered a lot of questions that wanted to be asked by the fans in the group. Was ask him about the goal, ask him about the goal. So there we go. Very special moment. But out of your appearances for Newcastle, what would you say was your best moment?
The best moment, the best moment, of course, it was the game against Man United. But I remember that I was very, very happy with my performance against Everton. So that game, it was our first win in the league, and I was the man of the match. And I remember that I played at my best. So playing at home against Everton, first win of Newcastle in the Premier League, and performing so well was fantastic. I think that was the best moment I had. But of course, signing for the club was also a special moment.
Yeah, really good. And finally, for myself, obviously, you mentioned earlier under Keegan, and these players just started coming in over that transfer window at the time. When he was bringing all these players in, could you kind of tell that your time was up at the club, or was it something that you were kind of looking to move to get first team football?
Yeah, I thought about it in the end of the first year, when where I was not getting the time that I wanted, and then the gaffer came and he told me about the opportunity to play in Italy, which it was, when you don't play, you want to move on if you don't have the opportunity, or if the club is looking for to sign more players. And we finished third in the first season, I think, and then the club had to take more quality and more quality. And of course, you think about it, but when it didn't happen, and I came back, I said, okay, I'm here now. I want to fight, and I feel that I am good enough to compete. And and it's not a problem that more quality players are there in the group. Not a problem. That makes you better, because it's more competitive. The team is getting better. The people they were behind the team. Then the club started to go to challenge for things. So it's amazing. But okay, unfortunately, my injury didn't let me, achieve what I thought that I could achieve. But the experience is there. It will be with me for the rest of my life. It's fantastic.
Yeah, really good look back on. And just back to yourself, Stephen, obviously after Newcastle, and some new questions there.
Yeah. Nicky, looking back over your playing career, can you say that you're happy with how things turned out? Obviously, I know you got the injury at Newcastle.
Of course. So that was the turning point from doing something really, really special.
Mm.
So the decision to go back was not the best decision, but of course I was very happy from what I did in my career.
Yeah.
The 6 years in Off-Crete. Then I went back in my country, playing for the best teams there, playing until my late 30s in the national team, playing for Champions League, playing for win trophies. All these, of course, are important things that I did in my career. Where I should reach, maybe if I was a little bit luckier, I could continue in Newcastle or go in another
Yeah.
club and stay in this level for more years.
Mm.
Of course.
Yeah.
But of course, I am happy. I had a good career, and then I went straight in coaching. So I started my B license, my A license, the pro license, everything I complete in England. My pro license in Scotland. And then from 2008, I started my coaching career, where it's been now 14 years, working for different countries. I was coaching in Cyprus, in Greece, in Slovakia, in Slovan Bratislava, in Egypt recently, where the competition there, it's really, really good standard. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
Obviously, still a lot to go.
You touched on playing for your country. As a professional footballer, what does that mean you to represent your country?
It's a special moment always when you hear the anthem, national anthem. Yeah, it's fantastic. Of course.
Yeah. Touching on, obviously, you've just mentioned you got your pro license and your UEFA license. Would you ever consider coming over to England to manage? I know we touched on that previously before we went live. Would that be something that would interest you?
That would be fantastic. But the competition is huge. You are away. You are not in the market. And it's always difficult. I scout for Bolton. Also, I scout in one period for Newcastle United, for players that before they make the step to go to the first team. So because I wanted to know how you recruit the players, what you see, what the high standard need. So it was a very good experience, but of course my area is in the field. So the coaching is it's an amazing opportunity to manage things, to manage players, different countries. Now it's not like the old days. Now you are stepping in the dressing room and you have 7, 8 different nationalities, with different players, different quality. When you work in one country, you have to understand the culture. You have to adapt to the culture. You have to manage to have results, to get your ideas across. So, of course, playing at the level that I played helped me. Studying in the level that I study help you a lot from what the modern football requires. So,
moving on the management side of your career, have you taken anything into your management style that you possibly picked up from the likes of Keegan?
Of course, absolutely. Of course, I take from every coach that I have been coached, but of course, Keegan wanted to play possession football. He didn't want to play long balls. Because it was in his philosophy to play always short combination. Of course, sometimes direct, but on the right way. So of course I take a lot from the organization, also the intensity, um, playing with a smile because he wanted you to enjoy your football. So of course, as a manager, you have to try to take the best out of your players,
Yeah.
to have a clear idea of what you want to play, and create a dressing room that can help you to achieve things. And
Yeah.
this is what we had in Newcastle. Great dressing room, players with ambition, a manager with ambition, a manager that wants to win. He was a very bad loser. We all know this. So yeah, of course, you're taking a lot. Also, I take a lot of things from my Dutch coach in Ofikrit, where we started to play the Dutch way from very young age,
Mhm.
and you know how the Dutch football is. And he helped me a lot to understand the position because I was playing like a left winger in a 4-3-3 at the time,
Right.
which the most of the coaches, they were playing with three in the back, 3-5-2 and everything. He wanted to play 4-3-3. He wanted you to stay in the wings, take people on, and
Yeah.
all this,
Yeah.
at the right time. So yeah, of course, I take a lot from my experiences as a player.
Yeah. Touching on Slovan Bratislava, I believe you took them to a Slovak Cup final, and I believe you finished second that year as well.
Yes.
Where does that rank amongst your managerial highs and lows?
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience in Slovan because Slovan was one of the best teams in the country, always
Yeah.
challenging for things. So when I took the club, yeah, we were 9 points behind the first. So we made an amazing run, and we managed to go in the game in the season with 1 point difference. So we challenged to take
Very
the
close.
championship. So we had a great run. It was a great experience. And of course, working in Greece, working now in Egypt was. They have a good standard of football, very aggressive, very emotional country, good players, very good players. So many players also doesn't go away because the money are okay, but the competition was good,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah. But you touched on it earlier that you started your scouting with Bolton, and then for I believe it was a year with Newcastle. What kind of insights did you get from watching players? Did you kind of understand the whole process of, like, this is
Yeah,
why this manager wants to sign this player?
yeah. Of course, every club has different criteria.
Right. Yeah.
So it depends of the club, and it depends also what the manager is looking for. But there is certain standards
Yeah.
that you cannot forget. So the physicality,
Yeah.
the the technique, because there is no chance in Premier League you can sign a player without good technique, because if
Yeah.
your first touch is not great, then you cannot cope, of course. So some people, they look for technique, some people they look for physicality, but the number one attribute for me is mental toughness.
Yeah. Yeah.
You cannot play week in, week out, or 3 times per week, or if you are not mentally tough. So mental toughness for me comes first,
Yeah.
and then it's technique, it's speed, it's physicality, and all the other things.
Yeah. Brilliant. Just touching on, obviously, I'm not sure how much you've been following the recent takeover at Newcastle and stuff like that. Could we just get a few thoughts on that from yourself, Nicky?
Yeah, it's fantastic at times for the Newcastle supporters because the team suffered a lot the last years,
Yeah.
and by taking over and by Newcastle United now is maybe the richest club in the world.
Yeah.
So this is amazing times, very exciting times coming. But of course, we cannot forget that nothing can happen overnight.
Yeah.
So this year was a very good year because Howie changed everything.
Yeah.
He changed the team. The team worked really well as a group, and the players by start to winning games, they started to believe. So he had an amazing run, and this gives the Newcastle to be stable. And then when you're stable, then you can attract world-class players. Because at the moment, of course, there is you cannot challenge Manchester City, Liverpool, or Chelsea or Tottenham because they have been there for years.
Yeah.
So it's a process, and I am sure that this year I can see also in the market and which players Newcastle are looking for and everything. Of course, you are not going to the top level. You are not going to Neymar or Messi or those players, but players now they start to see and to understand that something really big is happening there.
Yeah.
So that's the way to attract highest quality players, and I'm sure that if this year Newcastle United, and I can see also the new players that they came and the new players that they will come, they will add the quality of the squad.
Yeah.
And if Newcastle can be in the top 6, which is not easy, but now you have to think forward, and you need to start to have the ambition to challenge for European places, for Europa League, for Champions League, and that's where I see Newcastle in the next 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Very exciting times, definitely.
Yeah.
Just before we get into a couple of questions, Nicky, I was just laughing because we were mentioning obviously adapting to kind of come if you were to come to England to manage as well, and I was just laughing about that. I would imagine that the weather as well, because you mentioned some of the countries that you've coached and managed in must be absolutely amazing. Because I know the couple of games I've been to, we mentioned before the show, I went to a game and it was mid-December in Hartlepool, which is pretty much on the seafront. And it literally took me a week and a half to warm up after that game. I couldn't feel my toes for a long time. So I can imagine that would be a very shock going from some of the nice countries that you've managed in, coming to England. Some of them December nights is not the best.
Yeah, it's not the best, but if you coach in England, you don't care about the weather because you are coaching in the best league in the world. Not a problem.
And I think we've touched on some of those questions that came in. Obviously, your best moment, which we mentioned, the Man United, the Everton game. A lot of questions about that time when you play the ball for Nicole as well. But another question that came in from Luke is, what would you say the differences behind the scenes are in Britain versus other countries you experience, which is kind of touching on the build-up to games, kind of fans in and around the towns when you play for them type of teams. What difference would be, would you say?
What are the difference behind the scenes? First of all, Premier League and English clubs, they have everything what you need as a coach to work in a high standard, which of course the money that every club takes playing in the Premier League, it's huge money. I was watching the game with Nottingham Forest and Huddersfield the other time. These guys, they were playing for 200 million. This is unbelievable money. So it makes the infrastructure, it's top class. The coaching staff, the supporting staff, the rehabilitation, everything what the coach needs, it's there. It's a high standard, which these you cannot find in countries like Greece, like the countries that I coach, and sometimes Spain or France, or they don't have these facilities and this infrastructure. So the difference is huge, and also the whole country, how they support football, and the fans, and the level that the Premier League has, I think is second to none. And it's not only that it's a great competition; it's a very competitive competition, because you can say, okay, France or Spain, they're not at the same level. Yes, they're in good level, but I don't think Real Madrid can lose from the last in the table, which in the Premier League anybody can compete with anybody.
Yeah.
So this is the excitement, and also the people, how the feeling of the football in England. It's the best you can have as a supporter, as a player, as a coach. The culture is fantastic.
Yeah, really good. But I think we just got to end there. Nick, we were pretty much saying thank you so much for actually coming on the show tonight, taking the time. I know it's myself and Steve were just talking a couple of days before, saying how nervous we are to come on. We've had I think it's about 6 former players that came on now, and I know we've had 40 in the group, but it's just absolutely amazing, the former players taking out the time to come on and share the experience, the memories, and the stories. It's absolutely been fantastic talking to yourself, Nicky. So thank you so much for coming on tonight. We really appreciate it.
I thank you also, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been fantastic also for me to remember those moments, and to know that I was a part of this family. So so it's been amazing. Thank you very much for your time also, and we're keeping in touch.
Yes,
excellent. Hopefully one day you'll come to England and manage, and we'll come down and we'll come and watch. We'll have to come and watch.
Fantastic. Okay, guys. Thank you very much.
No problem. And again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We've had a lot of people watching live and the questions coming in, which we appreciate. Nicky's gone through, as we've been speaking about, a lot of the questions that came in, to be honest. So thank you very much. I know we've had a great week, a lot of new subscribers as well. So we really appreciate your support. I know we've got a couple of more shows coming up over the next couple of weeks before we have a little break, before the crazy mayhem of the transfer window starts again, and the 100 players that's Newcastle's linked with every day, which will be quite exciting. So we have to have a little break before all that starts to keep up in what that's going to happen. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. In the meantime, get yourselves across to the Facebook page again. There's still a lot of stuff going on, even though the season has ended. And we'll thank you all for your support again.